Making your own workout leggings is super fun because you can combine your coolest fabrics with the most comfortable features for a customized look and fit to you. And this one doesn't have a front crotch seam. That is the front and there's no seam on the crotch. So cool. I'm also doing a little comparison with 4 leggings patterns I've already made so you can see what the differences are. Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina from liftingpinsandneedles.com. Welcome to this channel that is all about sewing, limitless sewing, and today is about legging sewing. A few years ago I was in the mindset that I didn't want to sew my own workout leggings. I thought the ones that you could buy in the shops were better. I had these preconceived notions in my head. I would never find the right fabrics. That actually was my case a few years ago. I actually could not find any good athletic material to use to sew my own leggings. Once I got to this lovely country, there's an abundance of athletic knits. I was really excited with the possibilities, with the quality of the fabrics, with the prints especially, and knowing that I can make super amazing workout leggings for myself. And this is the 4th pair of leggings I've made using the same brand, GreenStyle Creations. It is an indie pattern brand that specializes in activewear, although there are a few patterns in there that are just for normal casual wear as well. But there's maybe like 8 or more legging patterns in there in the catalog, and this is the 4th one that I've sewn. What I've got today is the Spark leggings, and this one has different features than the other ones. Now, some of the ones I've made in the past don't have side seams, others don't have an inseam. Now the difference with the Spark leggings is that there's no seam on the front crotch, so you get a really clean, smooth look in the front. If you're using prints, you don't need to worry about matching the prints there in the front seam, which can be problematic. It has been in the past for me. The latest ones I made, the Cavallo leggings, did have a seam in the front crotch and I had to match my plaid fabric there. It took me ages. Well, with the Spark leggings, you don't need to worry about that because the whole front piece is just extended and cut on the fold. The way it feels on the body is amazing, extremely comfortable. So that's the main feature. Then you have a curved waistband. On the same waistband, you can choose a low, a medium, or a high rise. Now there is a second option for a waistband. If you have a more curvy figure, if you have several sizes difference between your waist and your hips, maybe hourglass or pear shape, there is a curved waistband that's more curved, and that one is going to give you a better fit. So that's a really great option to have. On the sides, there is a side panel that includes the back. On the back, that little side panel doesn't have a seam, and right there on the sides, on your legs, you have slanted pocket opening, a really nice depth for you to store things. For length, you have a 9-inch inseam, and then you have Capri length and full length. Now, GreenStyle Creations has 3 patterns every month that are discounted 15%. They are the patterns of the month. And this month, the Spark leggings is one of those patterns, along with the Whistler jacket and the Embrace bra. I'll put the pictures here so you can see what they are. On top of that 15% discount, there is a Labor Day sale running right now through tomorrow, the 7th. It is a 25% off site-wide sale. It also includes some of the fabrics, but I don't have much information about the fabrics. So if you want to sew the Spark leggings that are already 15% off, they will be marked 15% off, and then they'll be marked 25% on top of that discount already. So the price will be amazing. Use the code Labor Day Sale 21. It's on the screen here. I will leave you my affiliate link down below. If you use it, it doesn't cost you any extra, but part of that sale comes back as a small commission for me for the work that I do here on YouTube. So I'm always very grateful if you use it. As for all these legging patterns, you can't really just use any knit that you have lying around. Hopefully it has to be a performance type of fabric with 75% horizontal and vertical. In the pattern instructions, you always find a page that has a stretch guide there. If you want to, if you're not used to measuring stretch, you can print that out and compare 4 inches of your fabric, stretch it to see up to where it stretches nice and comfortably, and then you'll be sure to know that you have the correct stretch. You of course need vertical stretch as well, a little bit less, 50%. So nice medium to heavyweight fabric with a lot of spandex content. Look for a fabric that has at least 10% spandex or lycra or elastane in there. And the main fabric sometimes is nylon or polyester or polyamide. Those are the main type of material that you find there, plus the lycra that's going to give you that stretch and recovery. You want something that bounces back really nicely and gives you a nice compression. Don't use lightweight fabrics, don't use bamboo, rayon spandex. If you use cotton lycra and you sweat, you get wet, that puddle of either sweat or water is going to stay there and it's not going to look nice. So unless you're planning to make leggings just to wear as fashion leggings under your clothes, like under tunics, stay away from cotton spandex. You really want the athletic knits. Those are the ones that are going to give you the best looking results. Also at GreenStyle Creations, they sell fabrics. Now I can't really say how they are. You know, this is a pattern brand that is in the States, so I can't get these fabrics to try them out, but I know that they curate a really nice collection, and with each pattern they give you suggestions of what fabrics can work, the ones that they sell that they have tried and tested and that they know are not going to be transparent and all those things. The Spark come in sizes B to M. So it's with letters. You really have to look. You have to forget about the other types of sizes with alphanumerical systems or with numbers. Just look at your measurements and look at the letters. There is a range there. You have a bit of leeway there because you're also working with a stretchy material. And size M, which is the largest size, will go up to a hip of 62 inches. You'll also find in the measurements charts the waist, the hips, the mid-thigh and the calf, which is really great because it really lets you know where you are. You might have larger thighs or smaller thighs than your waist and hips, so it's really easy for you to see where you could print out maybe 2 sizes and blend to get the proper customized fit for you. In my case, my waist is a size H and my hips are a size I. I've decided to blend these 2 sizes only on the waistband pieces. The curved waistbands are pretty wide, so I can just use the smaller size on the top and just blend out to the larger size at the bottom. And then for all the other pieces, I use the same size, and I think that gives me a great result if it's just 1 size difference. I didn't really think I needed to use the extra curvy waistband. The difference between my waist and my hips is just 1 size. It's not too extreme, you know, so I thought that was going to be okay. Now in the sewing segment, I'm going to show you how to sew them, how to put them together. All the main important bits, except for the easy bits at the end, like the side seams and the waistband maybe. But I'm going to show you how to put the pocket pieces together, how to sew all those curved pieces. It's very practical. There's no way you can't make them yourself after watching. So let's see, up close and so personal.
This is start to where I'll be. You've been rated down like hail. I'm weak.
These are the pattern pieces for the Spark leggings. This little piece on the side is the front, and that fold that you can see there is actually where the front crotch is. So there's no seam there. Whatever print, if you're using a print, is there. It's not going to be interrupted by a seam, and I think that's really awesome. This long piece here is the gusset that will go on the inner leg. This larger white piece that you see there is the back. This is partially the back crotch curve right there. And this is a seam that will go attached to this side piece. This lateral piece is cut on the fold there on the top. Back crotch just below the waistband will have this area that doesn't have a seam. This small piece right there is the pocket that gets sewn onto the small piece there on the side. So that means you can have pockets on your thighs. And all these pieces here are for the waistband. The navy pieces are the inner waistband. The smaller one is the front. The big one that's behind the other one is the back. And these are the outer waistband pieces, the front and the back. They are different. The inner waistbands are slightly shorter at the bottom. That means that the seam rolls inside and you don't see it. Now I want to show you some little marks that you need to do on your pattern pieces that are going to help you put this gusset together. This is the center area of the gusset, and you can see these little red marks here. 2 of these are going to match the front and 2 of these are going to match the back inseam. And look at this. This is the front piece. Remember I told you that the fold here was the crotch. These little marks are the ones that are going to match these. If you go down further on the leg, you're going to find another little mark, and that's actually going to match the end of the gusset piece. So make sure you do all your marks on the pattern. They're marked as dots. This is the back inseam. Here is the crotch curve for the back, and there you have that one that is going to match one of these 2 from the gusset. And further down below the leg is the mark that shows you where the gusset is going to reach. From there down, you just have a simple seam all the way down to your hem. This is the side piece. Remember, it was cut on the fold, so it's just one extended piece. And this is now where we are going to baste our pockets in place. The slanted edge on the pocket, you are just going to fold that in by 1/2 inch and top stitch that down. And then once that's done, you're going to put them on top here. They have the exact same shape. So you're just going to baste this on the edge, hold them together, and then this is just going to act like one piece. Now in this piece is that I'm very tempted to put in a little zipper pocket. If I wanted to do that, what I would do here is I would fold the top edge like this, and instead of sewing it down on its own so that you can put your hand in your pocket, I would want this pocket to be closed. So I would fold it down by 1/2 inch, just the same, but then I would top stitch this down there so that it's closed on the top. And then the way to get into this pocket would be with a little zipper. I think that would be a really safe way to hold like a credit card or something more, a little bit more valuable. So I might consider doing that. And it would be a vertical zipper opening that you've seen me do on a waistband before. It would be the exact same thing. I would just be putting it there instead. Here I'm top stitching the edge of the other pocket that's going to be normal, where you just put your hand through the top, and I'm just using a decorative stitch on my machine that will allow stretch. If you have a cover stitch, you can do that, or you can use a twin needle. I'm very conservative on decorative top stitching because the stitches go super slow on the machine. Here is the side piece. It's one extended piece, the navy one, and I've got the pockets right on top. This is going to be the regular pocket that is going to go on the left, the original pocket of the leggings. You put your hand in through there. So all I did was align it here, and I'm just going to baste it along the edge so it acts as one piece. I'm going to do the same with the pocket that's going to go on the right side. This one has the zipper opening. I'm going to change my stitch to a regular stitch, straight stitch with a long stitch length 5.0, and just baste on the edges, smaller than the 3/8 seam allowance that the pattern uses. And just baste this all around the edge on both sides. Start putting the leggings together. After finishing the pockets, we need to sew this back crotch curve. It's a small little seam, and I'm going to sew it directly on the serger. 3/8 seam allowance. I'll be trimming away a little bit as I serge. Now on this curve here, you'll see a notch right there and one on the other side. Keep that in mind. Now we're just going to open this up, and we're going to have a curve like this. And this curve is going to be sewn onto that curve and all the way around the top. I've got both of these right sides up, but you need to put this one right sides together with that one. And here I've marked where the center is. It was that you can still see the fold of my fabric there, and along here you'll find a notch. That's the one that's going to match the notch right there along that curve. It'll be a really curved seam matching this like that. Take your time, pin it, and then we serge it. Okay, so I've got the side piece pinned. You can see the curve right there. It goes along that way. There's no seam on the back of this top piece right there. I've marked it with white, and then it curves out to the other side. This is the notch that matches the one on the back on both sides. It's very easy to put together. It's just very curved. So we'll go ahead and sew this. Okay, so that's how that looks. We can forget about that, that's done. Now we can just extend this inseam and take our gusset piece. It doesn't matter which way you sew it. If you sew it that way or you sew it that way, they are the same. And remember, we had those 2 marks right there. Those 2 marks are going to match these 2 marks on the inseam right there. You can see that the gusset is slightly shorter right there. You need to stretch this slightly to match that. Supposed to be like that. It will create a little bit of tension there, and it's supposed to be like that. And then along the gusset, you'll see where this is going to reach. From this edge up to that line, it's all 1-to-1. You don't need to stretch anything to fit anything. It's just this little section where the gusset is slightly shorter than here, and you just need to stretch the top part to match the bottom. And then from there on, you keep sewing normal down to the end. Okay, so there's one dot there and there's another dot there, and this is just the area where we need to stretch a little bit. Make sure you check what direction your seam allowance is going up here on the top so that it's the same down here. You don't get them in different directions. This is the front piece. It's much smaller. It's one piece. It doesn't have the front crotch seam. As you can see, it's really smooth there. And behind there, in this inseam area, you also find those 2 little dots that were the same on the back. So after having sewn the gusset to the back on one long end, we have the other long end to match. So putting these right sides together like this, we are going to sew this end to that end right here. And we're going to be matching those two dots with the dots underneath there. Here is the bottom of the inseam. This is the hem part. And you can see where this was sewn on before, it's going to join, keep the seam allowance up. And here we have the gusset, and what we have behind here is the front inseam. This is where it's going to get a little tricky. This is the front crotch, but there's no crotch curve. Remember, this is all one smooth piece, but we have these two little marks, and we need to stretch what's on top the gusset to match what's at the bottom, and just conform to that curve really carefully, and then keep going down. And here we're going to catch this as well, keeping the seam allowance pointing up like this as well. Now we're going to catch all this, including that seam allowance going this way. Okay, now we're at the part here where we need to stretch between those two red marks right there. And now stretch the gusset to meet what's underneath and align with this little curve right here. Remember, it's curved under there, so be careful you don't get a pucker. So that's how that looks, and from the other side it looks really neat like that. It's like a point right there. Now I want to check the crotch here that I didn't get a pucker, and now that we have the gusset piece sewn, we have already done the inseam basically for the front and the back. All we need to do now is flip this like this, and then we can align the side seams. It's one straight seam, both sides, then we can attach the waistband and then the hem, and that's it. Here are my Spark leggings. I love this fabric, it's so beautiful. Look at these blue tones. I used the main fabric for my outer waistband, but for my inner waistband pieces I used a navy, another athletic knit, just to save on main fabric. Now let me tell you, this does not take much fabric at all. I've made a jacket using this fabric. What I've got from that left over is what I needed for this. So using another fabric inside allowed me to finish the project. I haven't shown you the jacket with the same fabric, but I will eventually. In the sewing you saw that this side piece is navy, and it starts there and it goes navy all the way up to here, but it's covered with my pocket that has the main fabric. So that is the type of color blocking you'll see on the side, like an angle, and then it goes off navy at the back. This is the area that doesn't have a seam. It's cut on the fold, which is great. Really easy to put together because you don't have to match that seam from the back crotch right there. Very nice, very easy to put together. This is the original pocket on the side where you can put your hand in. It's nice and deep and wide. It can fit my whole hand. You know, it's nice and fitted on your thigh. And I've done a little hack on the side here. If you belong to my Patreon page and have access to my exclusive content, I have that footage of this little pocket right there. I've shown you how to sew a little zipper pocket on my Cavallo leggings, but on the back waistband, right at the back, and it was a horizontal zipper. In this case, I've sewn it vertically. If you want to see how to sew it, you'll get the main gist of it with the Cavallo leggings, only there's a few differences here. Only the way I've done it here is even easier. So this pocket, instead of it being open like it is on this side for you to put your hand in, it's closed. So I've top stitched it down using the same decorative stitch, but there's no opening there because this is the opening. And so I find this super secure to put like a bank card or something that you really don't want to lose. A key, maybe you want to carry that around. And I think a little zipper pocket is really good. Now the reason I put it vertical like this is because this area, it's all stabilized with interfacing. It doesn't stretch at all. And I found that if I put it across, it would compromise the stretch of the thigh, and I would have an area there that might feel fitted. I won't have any stretch in that section. Also, the width of this pocket here is not that big, and I didn't want to go from side to side. So a vertical pocket is not wrong. It looks very nice. It's very neat. And you can put a vertical pocket like this in many other clothes that you have, many other leggings that have side pockets. You could do something like this. And I only did it on one pocket, not on the other one. So I'll show you these inside out so you can see. Now you might be scared of sewing that long gusset. I've shown you exactly how to do it. So I find these long gussets easier to sew than these tiny triangle gussets that other leggings have. For sure these are easier, although the seams are just longer. So this is the front here. You can see 0 seam, no crotch seam on the front, which is amazing. And then here you have the gusset piece. So the gusset goes between the front and the back. I have the cropped length because it's what I like. My waistband, it's so nice. It was so easy to put together. I love these. Always when you see these patterns, it's really hard to get what's going on when you just look at them for the first time. And then just following the instructions, matching the notches, it just becomes super fun. Just different to sewing wovens where you're usually just doing a lot of straight seams, you know. In this one, it was very different and it's very nice. When you're putting it together and you're sewing the side seam, you'll notice that the side seam is sort of offset to the front. It's not actually on the side of your body, it's towards the front. And that's where the front waistband meets as well. So the front waistband is smaller than the back one that goes from here and goes all the way around to the front. I had to pair them with this blue top. I actually need a navy workout top. I have absolutely nothing. Most of my tops are black. So, you know, when you sew things that have certain colors, it just expands your wardrobe and you start having more needs, you know. I need a navy tank. Let's see them on. These are my Spark leggings from GreenStyle Creations. Mine are Capri length and I've used this beautiful tropical print athletic knit. It's very nice, high quality, and I love the look. Especially that I didn't need to match the print on the front crotch because there's no seam on the front crotch, which is amazing. It's super smooth on the front, super comfortable. There is a side piece that involves up to the back. That's what you see in navy there, and then there are pocket pieces on the side of the leg. I'll show you those up closer. I've got a high-rise option with a contoured waistband, very, very comfortable. Up closer you can see where this waistband reaches. It's so comfortable. Both the front and the back follow my shape perfectly, have great compression, and give really nice abdomen support right there. These are my pockets. One of them was sewn as per the pattern, where you just put your hand inside and you have a large pocket opening there for anything you want to carry. Whatever you put in there is going to be nice and fitted to the body. On the other side, I decided to close the top of that pocket and sew my own little pocket opening with a little zipper. It is a vertical zipper to not affect the stretch horizontally across the thigh. That's why it's vertical. You could put something there that's a bit more valuable, like a bank card or a key, to keep it extra secure inside that zipper. The long gusset is super comfortable. The feet on the back, I like this length. I feel amazing. I feel super comfortable. I really like the feature of not having that seam in the front. Highly recommend. Great leggings pattern. I'll put on the screen a table here so you can see what I'm trying to compare. Maybe if you haven't sewn leggings in the past, you don't really know what your preferences are. You don't know what you like. Maybe you've just bought ready to wear leggings, and usually ready to wear leggings don't have a side seam but have an inseam. I personally have never bought leggings in shops that don't have an inseam or a front crotch seam, so those are unique features that I found in these patterns. I'll put them in the order that I've made them. I've made the Super G leggings. I made those last year. Then I made the Sundial leggings, and then just a few weeks ago I made the Cavallo leggings, and then these are the Spark leggings. So about the gusset, the Super G have a large gusset. The Sundial leggings have a tiny triangle gusset. The Cavallo leggings do not have a gusset at all. There's nothing there. And the Spark leggings have a large gusset. By large gusset, I mean that it's long. It involves your leg, your inner leg. It's not just a tiny little piece. About the pockets, the Super G leggings have an optional side panel that you can sew there and put pockets there if you want to. But it is only an option. You can sew them without the side seam, and then there won't be any pockets. That's what I've done. The Sundial leggings don't have any pockets at all. There's no pockets anywhere. They're very straightforward leggings that are super easy to sew, the more traditional type, so you won't find pockets there. On the Cavallo leggings, you'll find side panels that have pockets sewn onto them, and you have pockets on your thighs. Very similar to what you have in the Spark leggings. About the rise options, for all of these leggings, you'll find options for low, medium, and high rise. Some of them have an ultra high rise, like the Cavallo leggings. So whatever your preference is for your body type or how you feel more comfortable, you'll be able to sew them like you like them. I've made a high rise on all of them. I have a longer than standard rise anyway. My waist is way up here, and that's where I want my leggings to be comfortable. So you will be able to customize that to what you like. They all have length options, shorts, capri, full length. You can customize that to what you like in all of these patterns. They all have curved waistbands. None of these leggings have a rectangle that you just sew on the top like a yoga waistband. All of these have an inner waistband and an outer waistband for both the front and the back. The inner waistband will also be a little bit shorter than the outer waistband so that the seam on the top rolls inside. All of these can have elastic sewn onto that seam on the top if you want to as an option. So in that case, they are all very similar. The difference though with the Sundial leggings is that they have a different shape. They have a V front and there's two types of waistbands there. The other one is overlapped onto each other, but both of them have a V type of look there on the front. And that's really cute. I really enjoyed sewing that. As for the difference in the main seams, the Super G leggings and the Sundial leggings have an inseam. They don't have a side seam. The Cavallo leggings don't have an inseam and they have a partial side seam. And the Spark leggings don't have a front seam on the crotch. They have a side seam and an inseam. So you can see that they have different types of seams. They're just different ways to put them all together. They're all super fun to sew. I actually really like them all. I'm not doing extreme things when I'm doing anything active. So for me, they're all gonna work for running, for lifting weights, for riding my bike. They all fit amazing. They have the rise that I want. I've been able to customize the type of waistband and pocket that I like. There are a few more leggings that I haven't tried and I would still make them all. I think it's fun to make different patterns, just not to be repeating yourself. I think it's a fun garment to put together. And I would keep making different patterns just because I enjoy it. And then you can add your little bits like extra pockets to make it even more special. I hope this comparison gave you a little bit of insight. If you've never sewn any and you want to see which one you want to sew first, maybe this information was helpful. Don't forget that the Labor Day sale finishes tomorrow, the 7th. Use the code Labor Day Sale 21. It's on the screen here and you'll get 25% off site-wide. Remember that the Spark leggings are already 15% off. So when you add the code, they'll be discounted again 25% off. The total price is really, really good. Same as the Whistler jacket and the Embrace bra. Those are the patterns of the month. Don't forget about that because they are actually even at a lower price than all the rest on the site. I will leave you my affiliate link down below and all the resources I have available on the channel for all these leggings. I've sewn them and I've filmed them. I'm showing you how to do them so you'll be able to sew all of these that I've shown you. I hope you really enjoy them, and if you haven't sewn your own leggings, you are missing out.
I think this is starting to wear on me. You've been raining down like hail. I'm weak. I have tried to give you my soul, but you can't love something you own. It's too late to repair what we made. Can I do?
I will see you again with more sewing very soon. Bye!